Hey, and welcome to my vlog channel. I'm Allysia, and I like to talk about things that are interesting to me, which involves parenting and productivity and personal development and apparently like a lot of technology related things. I've done a few posts on this channel about phones and stuff like that. So today's post is also going to be about phones. Why you should invest in good phone cases for your phone so that when you throw them on the ground 3 times a day, that it doesn't break. Also, this is why I like Androids, because they don't break. So the thing I wanted to talk to you guys about with phones is recently I have tightened my, phone, what would I call it, like monkhood with phones. So in the last video I was talking about how I turned off all the notification settings and did a couple other little hacks of making my phone more dumb but less distracting, and that's been really, really positive, and I haven't changed anything about that. I love the one, I get 2, maybe a little bit more than 2. The one kind of just for fun notification, because I get notifications when someone calls me, when I get a text, but I don't get notifications for virtually anything else, except I'm obsessed with this one app right now called Time Hop. You know how Facebook gives you your memories and whatever, and it's whatever, that's what I said, that was stupid 10 years ago. Time Hop does that, but you don't need to have Facebook on your phone, because it takes all of the stupid things you said 10 years ago and puts it all together in one little app. So every morning I get this cute little like tour through my past, whether it be through my own personal gallery, whether it be through Facebook, Instagram, basically any like social media accounts. So I don't need to have those social media accounts to get my memories. It just kind of does it for me, and I really like it. It's just been a really fun little app. So while I'm talking about my monkhood with phones, I'm not like a total monk. The big thing that I've done recently is I've gotten rid of social media and email. Email was the harder one to bring myself around to, but I no longer have an app for Gmail. And I was gonna do it as an experiment, so I've really resisted the idea of taking email off my phone, because it seems so convenient and useful. Because if I'm standing in line for a coffee, I can, delete some emails that I'm not gonna read or whatever, or I can read an email and then mentally rehearse my response for the next 6 hours until I sit down to actually type out an email, which seems maybe productive, but in retrospect, I'm really, really glad I got rid of email. I don't know why I was so scared to get rid of the email app, but it was really like, I don't know, I resisted it for so long, because it just seemed like a final threshold to cross or something, and maybe I was going to lose productivity and connectedness and whatever. That didn't actually end up happening. And besides, deleting an app is so minor. I could have reinstalled it in 30 seconds if for whatever reason it wasn't working. So I don't know why I made it up to be this big deal. And I can also access email through the browser. It's just too annoying. I don't usually do it. I've done it like twice ever since deleting my Gmail. But the big advantage of it is that I've drastically reduced the things that I can just kind of hit. The buttons that I can just, oh hey, I need a shot of dopamine and I'm bored, so beep. Because that, for me, has been email, and now it's gone. And it's also been social media, which is not quite gone. I've kept Instagram, but I have a reason for it. And I've also kept Snapchat. So those are, Instagram and Snapchat are my new ones where I just kind of like blindly press, and then I have to kind of be more conscious about it. But the reason I kept Instagram over the other ones is the people I follow on Instagram are pretty spare. I only have, I don't know, I basically have like my friends and stuff. I like watching a few people's stories in particular. So like I like watching the daycare owner that my daughter goes to does Instagram stories, and it's really nice when I'm at work to be able to just kind of like, I don't know, spend 30 seconds seeing what they're doing. I find that's really nice, and I don't see that as like a, I don't know, it doesn't feel like the negative cloud of social media that tends to happen. So I've kept Instagram. I don't really waste too much time on it. It's really just, checking what my baby's up to, and like friends and family are on Instagram too. I really like kind of keeping track of people that way. It's just a nice thing. And this might sound bad, but like my daughter Jane also likes looking at some of the babies on Instagram, because we follow a few accounts of parents with similar age kids. So she likes to see the kids on the screen too, and that's just kind of like that's our screen time of the day. And that's my whole rationale for why I kept Instagram, rightly or wrongly. But I don't find that that's too negative. And I've drastically reduced the things that I can just kind of like, I don't know, blah, press, whatever. Because that's the thing, like, I want to eventually, I don't know if I want to eventually do this, but there are people who don't use smartphones and they kind of emit this holy light of impressiveness. I don't know. Even the idea of not having a smartphone for like a month, which is something I've toyed around with. Could I go a month without this? And I could go a month without this. We could all go a month without this. 10 years ago, I didn't even have one of these. Or I probably did. 10 years ago. Did smartphones exist in 2009? I'm pretty sure I didn't have one in 2009. I got my first phone in 2006. So that was probably right around when smartphones came. So I lived a life before this thing, so I could live a life again without it. And I'd be curious to experiment with a full 30 days without the phone at all and see, I don't know, what was different. Maybe my life would be more inconvenient, but maybe there would be other advantages. But anyway, paring down my apps to be things that are actually like kind of useful in a productive way. So for example, like on my main page, I have like my task manager, and I have Stitcher, which I listen to podcasts on. I have Audible, I have Spotify. Like the things that I'm using that aren't just like junk food apps, you know, kind of like how Facebook's a junk food app. And then like, I don't know, like the junkiest app I probably have is YouTube, which is terrible because I'm making YouTube videos right now. I have Pinterest. That one's pretty junky, but I don't really use Pinterest. I just kind of have it. Maybe I should delete it because I don't really use it. But I have like, I even deleted my Kindle app, honestly. I was tired of reading books on my phone, and I figured I have a Kindle. I could just use the Kindle when I want to read a book on Kindle, you know? So got rid of the Kindle app, but I still have Scribd, which is books on my phone still, so I haven't like completely broken that chain. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I have a meditation app, like my calendar. I have a yoga app, you know, but like I really have very few apps now, probably 20, down from, I had like at least 40 before. And yeah, my life is better. The biggest downside with deleting Facebook in particular is that I'm not really in the loop as much with what's going on. Now I want to be clear, I deleted the Facebook app, but I have not deleted Facebook. So I can still go on my desktop, well, in my laptop, and access Facebook that way. It's just that extra step of having to actually like log into Facebook on the computer and whatever, makes it so that I usually don't do it, maybe like once a week. And because of that, I think I've missed quite a few things. So invitations to get-togethers, you know, that kind of thing, birthdays even. But that's, if I talk to people in real life, then that will largely be less of a problem. If I'm at it, people hopefully will have the wherewithal, if they really like me or know me, to just like contact me directly about a thing if they want me to come and I haven't responded on Facebook. That's my hope anyway. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Twitter I never really used. I don't like Twitter. Twitter just feels like a meaningless void of, I don't know, nothing. No offense to people, because I know some people really like Twitter. And yeah, Instagram, which is, yeah. So I suppose the point of this video and why I wanted to sit down and talk is just to discuss the idea of deleting things on our phone that we think are really important but actually aren't. And email was the biggest one, like I said, and it hasn't been important. So first of all, my usage of email has gone way down. I used to check my email like, I don't know, half a dozen times a day at least, just because you click in and then it's 10 seconds and then it's done. But it's not that simple. So if I would spend 2 minutes checking email while I'm standing in line and I've read an email, I would never have time to respond to it. Like I do not reply to emails on my phone like trying to type. It's so inconvenient. So what I would do is I would read these emails and then either I would totally forget about them and then not respond for 2 weeks, or I would be like notating emails in my head, wasting mental space. Like I don't want to be thinking about composing emails. I want to be thinking about interesting things. And just the act of checking emails would be enough to trigger this cascade of thoughts that I couldn't really control in my head. What should I say? Blah, blah, blah. What if it was like a negative email? I know my husband gets this because he's an IT guy, so he deals with emails at all hours. And sometimes like like a bad email at 10 p.m. is enough to wreck your sleep. So that's one of the biggest reasons and one of the biggest benefits I found with just taking email off my phone, because I check it once a day. People don't need me more than once a day. That's enough. I don't need to be like on constant contact with email. And it's usually pretty fast. Like I'll spend at most maybe 10 minutes. There are days where I have to go in and do more targeted email work. And with the piano students I spend a little bit more time corresponding with them via email. But like on the whole, I would probably spend at least twice as long checking emails using my phone than I do now using my desktop. So ultimately, it did not save me time to have it on my phone. It wasted mental energy and it wasted time. I could be doing different things with my brain instead of, if I'm standing in line, I could use my brain and think. I don't need to like click things. I could just stand there. And that's kind of what I'm keeping in mind now, I'm trying to practice. I don't need to pull out my phone at every blank pocket of space. I can just be a human in those blank pockets of space and remember what it feels like to just have thoughts or be bored or people watch. I don't know, the things that I used to do before I was trying to like cram in every, empty pocket of time with emails. I don't know. So that's my rant of the day. I found that this has been like a really positive thing for me, so I like sharing with you guys the things that I found personally beneficial, even if they seem a little monkish. But I haven't gone so far as to totally get rid of this. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Life is good right now with this lessened consumption. So what do you guys think? Do you have like a social media preference? So do you think I'm ridiculous to be keeping Instagram on my phone while I'm preaching getting rid of Gmail? Like, do you think I should get rid of Instagram? If I'm trying to be, I don't know, do you think that's a good idea? Do you have like things that you find email on your phone genuinely valuable for, or do you find you waste a lot of time with it too? Like, I'm really curious. So let me know if you've gotten this far in the video in the comments what you think, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.